This is AV SuperFriends Off the Rails, an almost regularly scheduled open discussion on audio and video in higher education. We'll sound off about our most brilliant ideas, our dumbest mistakes, and everything in between. And because this conversation will almost certainly go off the rails at some point, we'll end up covering just about everything else. And now, the AV SuperFriends. For June 12th, 2025, it's the best-sounding podcast in higher ed. This is the AV SuperFriends Off the Rails, episode number 113. We're at InfoComm. We are recording live from the very sticky, sweaty second day of InfoComm in Orlando. Somehow the air conditioning still doesn't get all the way to the far ends of the show floor, so it makes life a little more interesting.
I don't know. I feel a little breeze where I'm sitting.
Oh, well,
that was me.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so I'm Chris Dechter, and it's time for another Good Morning InfoComm. It's our morning show. We are here before the show floor opens. Every day we get a little earlier as we fine-tune our setup here. I'd say recapping day one, I've seen more LED walls than I can possibly count, but we'll see what we can do about making sense of everything.
The small LED wall's been nice.
Yes.
There's one right behind us right now that kind of looks
But
fun.
before we get too far into that, let's introduce our panel.
Oh.
Because I wrote all this stuff up. Hold on. So let's say hello to our Chief Booth Illumination Strategist from Kansas City, Mr. Jamie Reinhardt.
Enlightening experiences across the show floor.
Also joined by the Senior Manager for Lanyard Experience Optimization from Greensboro, North Carolina, Mr. Larry Darling.
Sure, yeah.
You're not in charge of lanyards?
I barely have one.
Justin is wearing 7 lanyards.
I've seen lots of people with multiples.
We're hacking InfoComm over here.
Going to get us thrown off the floor. Also joined by our Vice President for Swag Logistics from Bowling Green, Kentucky, Mr. Justin Rexing.
Oh, I'm supposed to collect swag?
I think you're just supposed to worry about logistics.
Yeah.
Oh, the logistics of said swag.
Throwing the swag at people.
So I need to collect swag and then throw it at them.
Oh, that would be the Vice President of Swag Telemetry.
Telemetry. I thought I was collecting lanyards. I thought I was Larry's title. I got confused. That's on me.
Well, you guys get new jobs then if that's what's going on here.
That explains the 3 lanyards, yeah.
Anyway, so we're at the Computer Conference booth again. They have a table that they've built for podcasting, and we're using it for podcasting. And
we have all kinds of guests showing up.
We have guests showing up left and right. Jamie's going to wrangle some people's headsets.
Okay, so let's see.
So you guys get to hear this live. This is Theater of the Mind.
So surprise guests.
Yep. Alex, come over here and just grab that one. Do we need another chair? Steal a chair.
Let them laud over us like the...
Well, here I am sitting around like a sucker.
So make sure your level's good right here. There you go.
We're adding people into the show right now.
Is it too loud?
It's fine. I'm good.
It's good. If you want the volume change, you can change it right there.
Your volume's right
there. You go.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, so he gets a tall chair.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Uh-huh.
Super important.
Look at that.
First time I'm the
And
tallest
Larry's
one.
kneeling on the ground.
I am kneeling on the ground. I'm okay with that.
Oh, we got somebody bringing a chair in over here.
Vince is bringing us another chair.
Wait, we have chairs?
Here.
No, Vince decided he's just
Nah,
gonna
I'm
keep-
fine. I'm
Vince
fine.
says you don't get a chair, Larry.
All right.
It's a short show. I'll be okay.
So we're just joined by Alex and Tom's from Catchbox, our good friends there. Tom's, again, thank you for providing the Catchbox yesterday for my session.
It was nice seeing it in action.
Well, I don't know if you noticed it. Sometimes there's people still trepidatious to like throw that cube around and they want to walk it around the room. So
Especially when delivering it back.
yes,
Yeah.
which I still find somewhat amusing. But so I did a session yesterday on automated cameras and Tom.
The AI cameras.
There was some AI discussion. I'm not using any AI.
God.
So,
Okay.
Tom's nice enough to bring a Catchbox cube by so we can use that in the session for Q&A. So that worked really, really well. So.
And then he's frantically putting it back together this morning.
Yes,
Yeah.
now he's
Yeah.
very upset. He's wondering what are these stains on it, these mystery liquids that are involved. What happened here?
So how are you guys? You got a lot of numbers at your booth yesterday?
Yeah. It was super busy. Super busy.
What are people saying? Because that's one of the things. Like we had you on the show not too long ago, and we talked a lot about some of your new stuff. It's not
It is newer.
It's newer. It's not what we were talking about. Like Chris was talking
a
about.
Revision to the new thing from last year. Is that
Yes.
fair?
Yes.
To catch
It's an
everybody up,
improved
right?
version.
You know, with Catchbox, we're used to thinking about the throwable. And now we have the DSP, and now we have the wireless kits that we all kind of love.
We are going to love them once I get my hands on one.
You haven't-
probably.
Yes,
Okay.
next week
I'm
when
still-
I get them.
It's going to be good.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah,
Larry, you already
yeah,
ordered
yeah.
a bunch of them, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
so you're installing them this summer then?
I am retrofitting a lot of the larger spaces I've done the last couple of years.
So you're taking old standard microphones out,
No,
throwing them away?
No, we've seen a bigger need for accessibility standpoints to put wireless mics in rooms I typically wouldn't.
Oh, that's
So
right.
I used to have like a 60 seat limit, like anything 50 and
Justin, roll in. They're going to throw this
Yeah, well,
stand
that's
on top of
okay.
here.
I don't, I can hold it up. It's fine.
And so, like, we've just taken the opportunity to move that way down. Like, we're looking at anything 40 seats and up
Oh,
gets a
interesting.
wireless mic.
Is that based on size or number of people in the room?
Typically, number of people in the room because it's easy. Like, there are some spaces I'll go there
So
and
if you
I'll
have a
walk
smaller
it.
classroom, 30 people, something like that, you don't typically do voice lift in there?
No.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm similar to Larry. Like, I'm going to start putting in microphones in places I haven't before. Like a 40, 50-seater classroom, like
50
large
seats.
classroom.
What is that enabler for that? What
The
gives
what?
you this opportunity to do that?
Lower
Suddenly.
cost. Yeah, so that's the main thing is I don't have to buy a huge DSP. That's overkill
I see what
with
you
a $600-700 wireless mic.
Yeah.
Now I can just spend the same amount on basically just a DSP or under. It's like almost like getting a free microphone.
Well, yeah.
It's kind of like
Or
that's
a
how it-
DSP.
Sounds like
Yeah.
a visit to Walmart.
Because you don't need
talking-
that much DSP horsepower anyway for a room that size for 1 or 2 mic channels.
You don't
and-
need 25 channels of analog inputs and 25 channels of analog out. And
No.
Just to route in and out. Just flip it all the way through.
Yeah, so it's
Just for
Add
fun.
delay.
so it opens up opportunity. Whereas an auditorium, you're probably going to need a larger DSP anyway, and you get larger systems.
But do you, though?
Yeah,
I'm with Chris on this one.
for the multi-channel, multi-Dante, multi-zone audio, they're doing 4 ohm, 8 ohm with point source and all that good stuff. It's not like I put 70-volt speakers
Why are you
in an
doing
auditorium.
4 ohm and 8 ohm in an auditorium?
4 ohm/8 ohm, whatever it ends up being. I don't.
4,
I-
8,
it's
16.
You don't do exclusively
16 ohm. I don't
He has a
care.
really complicated series parallel wiring diagram.
Yeah, crisscross it plus minus, and then ends up at
What's your phrase?
7.2 ohm. You know,
What's your
it's
phrase on
perfect.
that? Just like, math
Just
that
math
shit.
that
Just
shit.
math that.
Yeah, like that's happened before. Alec, my employee, calls me. He's like, "Hey, we bought the wrong amp." I was like, "Oh, we're gonna have to do math. We can't do 70 volt. We gotta bypass all the transformers and do series parallel." He's like, "What do you mean?" It's like it'll math out. It'll work out. It's like, "Oh my God, it did work."
Aren't you guys, you're glad you're not in amplifiers and speakers?
Yeah.
Yeah,
All the fun
yeah.
stuff you can
Yeah.
do.
Or
Little
you're
math.
telling us you're coming out with those too.
Oh, yeah. Is that what you're announcing today?
Is that on the whiteboard?
It's not yet on the whiteboard.
It is now.
So, yeah, how has day one? What's been the response? How's that been for you guys?
Pretty cool. Pretty good, actually, yeah. So I think a couple of people came who said that they heard the podcast, so they wanted to stop by.
That was going to be
What?
my
I
question.
wanted to meet me,
Yeah.
just say hi.
Yeah.
Really?
Is that what it was?
Get Tom's autograph.
Is Kuru here?
No, unfortunately. He had a wedding
He just
last
got
weekend.
married.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations.
And Florida's not a honeymoon?
They could go to Universal
yeah.
Studios. They could go to Disney. They could go to the beach.
Yeah.
They should have.
They should have.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
have skipped
Yeah.
it too.
I wouldn't come to Florida for a honeymoon. I wouldn't do that.
He did say he doesn't want to spend his honeymoon standing at the booth for an entire week. So.
Yeah. What kind of questions have you been surprised by any questions from anybody stopping by the booth about your new product, or any interesting stories that have come up yet?
More like trying to mathing it out, actually.
Oh, really?
Because
Yeah.
There are some cases where we had to pull out a piece of paper and just draw some diagrams and figure it out on the go. Because
Okay.
sometimes, even for us, we were talking to UCF the other day, and they were asking a question: how can they connect a few things? And first reaction was, probably not. But then we took a piece of paper and we figured it out.
Do paper CAD?
Yeah.
Rolled in another whiteboard.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
We don't use whiteboards. We use paper.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised your initial response was maybe not.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that surprised me about this new Plus system was that it is more versatile than I anticipated, because it has the analog in out. And you guys, it's just 2 in, 2 out still?
For analog 4 ins.
Okay,
4 outs.
so it's 4 ins, 4 outs. And then you have the Dante streams in and out, and then USB streams in and out. I'm like,
That's a lot.
really?
Yeah.
I figured your first reaction was probably, yeah.
Yeah, probably can do that. Let's
Because
figure
that
this
doesn't
out.
count.
We're cautious.
Because that
It's
doesn't
more
count
about
the
figuring it out.
microphones yet,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
So once you throw on your wireless microphones, now what else do you?
What else do you need
Yeah,
in that?
What was
exactly.
UCF
Yeah.
trying to do?
Yeah.
Send them over to us. We'll tell them what
Yeah,
they're doing
absolutely.
wrong.
Absolutely.
Oh, they're finally turning
It's
the
that
lights on
large
here.
lecture
Oh.
hall again,
Yeah.
the
So-
4, the 8,
Yeah, but if you had 4 in, 4 out, 4 Dante stream, you could do a lecture hall.
Oh, yeah, you
Yeah.
could. I'm giving him a hard time about his 4-8 on speakers.
So what other questions came up besides the kind of that flexibility part?
What else was there?
I think it's mostly just getting this idea of combining wireless microphone, mixer matrix, DSP. It takes time. It's not like immediately.
Yeah.
Even with the UCF when we were there, we had this. Okay, these are the new things. It's been there for some while already. Some of those functionalities, but we're adding on top of that, and it's like, it takes some time to make that idea rolling because you're so used to your previous designs that I have to make this and that. Okay, I can route this here, and that just suddenly you have that math meme happening in your mind, and voila, saved $3,000.
And you forgot the bonus of the best wireless docking station on the market.
I was going to ask,
the
what
only wireless docking station that's worth a damn.
what attracts, like for folks that didn't know, right? What attracts them to stop in? Like, what is their response when you have that random person there, just like to kind of give you that double take? What usually pulls them in? What is the thing?
Most probably the cube still.
Yeah.
It's still the cube?
It's still the
Lure
cube.
them in with the cube and then hit them in the face with this wireless
And-
mic.
yes. It's just like,
Like, look at this one.
We still have people coming by the booth, like 2 people usually, and one is showing to the other. Look at this is something that you can throw. It's a throwable one.
and then you start to lure them in, and
Yeah,
just
so
like,
did you know we have something more than that?
and then it's this wow moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
'Cause
It can do more.
I would have figured, because maybe my brain works different, but walking by and seeing the charging stand, that's probably, I'm like, what the hell is happening here?
Well, and my experience with that's a very tactile thing. You see it or see a photo of it, and you're like, yeah, okay, whatever, it's another charge. But when you feel the magnet snap on, you feel how well it attaches and how well it's
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm sold on that. It is heavy duty. It is built well, and it snaps
hard.
the magnets right to it.
It's hard to mess up.
Yes.
Is the thing.
Because we have some that have like the wireless chargers, and people will put their phones on the wireless charger, but they won't put the mics back on the wireless charger.
Yeah.
So I'm like, great, now the mics are dead. So, yeah.
But actually, that was the feeling that we were striving when we developed the product. We tested with Piru like gazillion of times, just like to get that feeling in your hand. It gives that confidence. Woo, boom! It starts to charge. Woo.
I think there's something really to be said for that from a tactile perspective. There's like, what would you call that? It's like, it's human interface.
It's a mechanical.
It's a mechanical design. It's the I'm trying to think of the term for it. It's like a haptic
Feeling that you strive to get the
Snaps
right.
in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, but it's also that it's not too hard, strong, so that it doesn't pull out of your hand. So it was a balance.
I assume you probably had some in development, and they were like, can't get this mic off of here.
Yeah.
So, Tom, you had mentioned
Yeah.
that people have to kind of rethink how they're using the hub and all the different things it can do. And that's something I went through, not with that, but with another system where early on, and this is probably like 2018, 2019, I first looked at these devices that only has like 3 HDMI inputs. And my first reaction is, that's not enough, and I just ignored it. Whereas by flipping my thinking, and this is several years later, literally the exact same device, I'm like, oh, well, this limits what I can do, but do I really need more than that? Is this appropriate for, as Larry was saying, for most spaces? So I think the hub will fit in a lot of places like that where people are like, I need a big DSP. Do you really?
Yeah.
And then when you start looking like, oh, actually, for 80, 90% of what I'm doing, 4 in, 4 out, 4 Dante, some up to 4-channel wireless mics?
Yeah.
Is that,
Yeah. Yep.
That's a lot going on for a little half RU box.
Yeah,
So-
it is. It is. That's why I think
Oh,
our
and USB.
thinking. Yeah, USB is there as always. But the thinking starts from our side that we tell the story through the scenarios. Kind of, hey, in your room, you want to have a ceiling mic. You want to have a wireless mics for really crisp audio. You want to have amplified audio from the far end. You want to send audio to the to the far end. They just like start to draw that. We have prepared those papers. They got stolen yesterday, actually.
Your papers got stolen?
Yes.
Someone's like,
Because someone
thanks, and they
just
just walk off.
It gave me a good idea.
not the
just
products, but
not
the-
the products,
yeah.
but just the paper.
Or was Alex out in the hallway like, catch ball?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like
I
the
didn't
people
know.
in Vegas, you know, slapping it on his hand and giving them away.
Yeah, it helps like these scenarios. We have this Northern Star that we want to tell through the scenario, and then suddenly it just pops up to me. I can actually do it in my room, and I don't need all of that full-fledged DSP.
Yeah.
Like people didn't take pictures of it? They actually
No.
stole the paper?
Yes.
That's messed up.
Well,
If you are listening to this and you were the thief, just take
Bring it back.
Come on,
Just
do
take
the
it
right
back.
thing.
I would say they borrowed.
Borrow.
Yeah.
We're not bringing
Give
those
them the
back.
benefit of the doubt.
Like
right?
that's what a phone's for. You just
You can take a picture, right?
yes.
Yeah.
You would think. You would think.
so now you have to get another piece of paper for when the questions come up today, right?
You need a whiteboard that they can't run
Yeah,
off
where's your
of.
Yeah.
whiteboard?
It should be like on the wall there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Idea for next year at your booth.
Somebody's gonna
whiteboard.
Well, somebody's gonna erase
gonna
it.
go,
Then
yeah.
you're gonna have to do Sharpies, and then it's gonna be this whole battle of.
So,
Yeah.
in any other like interaction yesterday that kind of stood out, a question that you're like, oh, we didn't think about that. Any other kind of those?
That's a really good question now.
You mentioned the UCF one.
Well, they've been a big user for years, but I guess
Yeah,
the hub
yeah.
is probably
Yeah.
new for them.
This hub is new for them.
Yeah.
They're rethinking the designs that they just developed and may potentially, let's see, like how it goes.
They're quite big on assistive listening, actually. That
Yeah.
was the issue that we're trying to solve for them, and they wanted to have different streams of audio for professors' assistive listening and students' assistive
Yes.
listening.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So they're
We figured-
routing
we
the
figured it
audience
out.
mics
Yeah.
through that and then back into the hearing assistance for the instructor himself.
Yeah, so for the instructor, you have to minus the clip mics, the presenter mics, and then for the students, all the rest. So, yeah, that was interesting. It was a bit of a drawing board, but yeah.
Actually, my biggest highlight, I would say, was your speech at the Avixa, Alex's
Ooh.
speech. I didn't expect that many people at 10 a.m. at the first session in Avixa booth.
Same.
Yeah, crowd.
Yeah.
What was it on?
It was about importance of audio. So audio is super important,
Wait,
right?
hold
But it's
on.
complicated.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
right?
Audio important. Let me write this down.
Yeah.
Breaking
All right,
news.
so give us the brief.
Yeah.
Yes. So super simple, super easy. Audio is important. Audio is complicated, right? There are a bunch of problems that we see with audio. One of them is, of course, the usability of the devices. That's the charging issues or taking the mics out of the room and not bringing them back or something like that, or not knowing how to hold a microphone, right? So then acoustics and the complexity of the setups. That's the thing that we're discussing. Ins, outs, you need hybrid, you need voice lift, you need assistive listening, you
You
need
mean that
networking.
math?
Yeah, all that math that's not mathing usually, right? And we solve it. We really help solve it.
You
Okay,
solved
I'm
it
sure-
yesterday.
I'm
So did
sure-
everybody
yeah.
stand up and just give
Yeah.
you the slow clap?
Almost, no. But
wait,
I
hold
wasn't
on.
expecting so many people. It was like
Yeah.
10 a.m. We're opening the stage, and there were like 40, 50 people.
More.
Maybe even more. And I would expect people to walk on first day. They would just wander around. But yeah, apparently audio is important for people.
I'm sure it was a great presentation. I'm just curious why at an audio video conference, the first session needs to be why audio is important. Like,
you gotta lead. We got to lead with the base standards.
And
of what the,
everybody showed up, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's just you.
Maybe. Or maybe it's 2025, but we haven't still solved audio, right?
Well,
It's still,
that could be.
Still commonly. Still, as Tom said, 100 years of microphones, and we're still asking, can you hear me? And
yeah.
call, yeah? So, yeah.
Well, thanks, guys, for stopping by this
Yeah,
morning.
this is great.
And
Thank you guys for having
Thank
us.
you. Thank you.
So for those that are listening while they're still on InfoComm, and maybe they come on Thursday or afternoon or Friday morning, where are you all located again?
do you remember your booth number?
What is your
4375.
4375. We're going
I
to go
think
with
so.
that.
Yeah.
That's
if
close
not,
enough.
just wander around and you'll find them.
Close enough. But
Yeah.
I don't advise the just wander around. You'll find them.
You'll find them.
Yeah.
It's somewhere around there.
You could use the app. That's what I've been doing.
Yeah.
Stuff in the app.
use the app.
Yeah.
But no, thanks, guys, for coming over and hanging out with us for a few minutes today, because I know you guys got a lot of business to take care of.
Yeah.
But
Show
we
floor is about
appreciate
to
it. We like
open.
talking to you guys and the direction that Catchbox is going, and the cool stuff. I think we keep talking to our peers about it, and hopefully they keep coming over.
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you very much.
for having
Appreciate
us.
it. Yeah.
All right. Thanks a lot,
All right.
guys.
All right.
Yeah, thanks.
Have a good Thursday.
Weird. All right, so
We just threw Catchbox out.
we
We said, get out.
This is not your booth.
Yes.
Yes.
Go back.
Whose booth is this?
So yeah, we're joined by Chris and Vince from Computer Comfort. So
There we go.
Gentlemen, how's day one been for you guys so far?
Day one was great. You know, good kickoff, good flow of traffic through the booth, pretty much all day.
Yep.
No downtime, so it was good.
And lots of positive reactions to the best lectern on the planet over there with the University of Wyoming sign
Oh
on
my
it.
God.
Is
I
that
knew it
who's
was
on there?
coming out.
University of Wyoming? That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one.
I can't even.
I think
You're
with
just upset it doesn't say University of Missouri Kansas City.
It's upset there's no.
So am I.
I've been buying your stuff.
I'm kidding.
Come on now.
Just not that one.
You
Just not that one.
You
I
put
like
any
the other
logos?
ones better.
Right, right.
Do any
No
logos?
No logos.
Well, there you
But
go.
the logos are cool.
so obviously CCI is the lectern, student table, furniture provider of choice. We've been doing this quite some time, and with partners like HEDMA, SuperFriends, AV SuperFriends, I think this is the place to be. And, you know, we appreciate you guys, you know, coming around and bringing us in, being part of y'all's podcast, you know, audience.
We were joking about like his lectern, but I think it is interesting how all of us have
Joke
our
about my
own.
lectern.
How all of us have our own flavor of something you've worked with us to develop and meets our needs to a T.
I think that's one of the things I find very, it's nice working with Computer Comforts because you guys do, in my experience, you take that extra step and says, are you sure this is what you want? Like you ordered this, we
Right.
put this together. Was there anything else? You know, and almost like when you go to the drive-thru, like and not to say that
Yeah.
sounds like it's more you're throwing sales, but it's more like, okay, did we think about we have the cable management, but you didn't add that in. Oh, damn it! Thank you.
Yeah.
Or oh, we offer this thing. We talked about some of the other value-add services that
Right.
you guys did for another place yesterday, but I've really enjoyed because some companies they're just like, no. That's what you ordered, but I need 4 table legs. You only sent me 3. Well,
You ordered?
then you guys are
Right.
like, no, look, we're partners in this. We want to make sure that you get what you're supposed to get, and that's where I'm going with it. Not that you try to throw more stuff on, but get what you're supposed to get. And so sometimes we're not paying attention to every little detail.
No.
And it makes things better.
It does, yeah. Well,
Oh, my gosh.
and we want to do it before it gets to you.
Yes.
So, yeah, we want to get all of those points out in front, whether you think you need them or not. You know, we like to just offer them, you know, before it gets to your location and you go, oh, I wish I would have had that. Or I wish I would have put a hole there or
Yeah,
vice
yes,
versa.
I should have
Yeah.
put that on the left side. And
It's before we order 60 of them.
Yeah,
Right.
and I guess the verification of my order, not necessarily.
Yeah.
If that.
Well, it's
I'm trying-
amazing too how, you know, like Chris's, you know, designs, his additions to a lectern. That's what we can add on. We bring it, we show it, and it's amazing how many people. It's what one, you know, you usually finds use out of. Most find use out of. And you open the back of that electronics bay, you know, folks see, hey, now I know what they're doing here. I know exactly what they're doing.
And then Chris says, "Can I screw something into that? Can
No,
I mount
actually,
something onto
I
that?"
remove parts and modify the crap of it afterwards too.
Oh, see, there you go.
But
Modify.
now you don't have to because it's evolved.
That's right. Yeah, so that Evolve lectern is essentially, well, it's obviously taken off and all the marketing we've done to get it in front of people. We took all the features from all of our popular lecterns and kind of combined it into one, which is where, you know, the Evolve or the Swiss Army knife
So it's
of
kind of like the
instructor
Indominus
lecterns.
Rex of dinosaurs. We just went through that.
Yeah.
Like
A
mix a bunch
universal.
of great
Took all the
things together.
strengths,
Yeah,
took all the strengths and put them into one. So, and these conferences, it's the feedback of all of you which allows us to create new designs down the line. So we love hearing people ask us, hey, can you do this? Or do you have this?
Did
And
you
we're
think
like,
about this? Yeah.
You know, we're making notes, you know, all day long. So then when we go back, we're like, hey, we need to address this need, you know, of products. So.
And Frank Calavo, our owner, he's, you know, he is a product man. He's got a product mind. And so that tagline, Swiss Army Knife of Lecterns, was purposeful. And matter of fact, we have a stack of Swiss Army knives we are giving out here at the show.
Oh,
so
I've seen you guys dropping them into people's bags.
Yeah.
So they get flagged by
Secretly.
TSA,
No one's flying home.
we just want to laugh when we get back to the airport.
Yeah, all the
you know.
people just lined up in a row.
That's right.
I'll get
TSA's
pat
getting
downs.
all of it.
Right. There's going to be a box of 250 sitting at the
And they'd
TSA
be like,
line.
Can you ship those to this address? Got our money back.
So y'all have quite a arrangement of different types of furniture here. Are there some that jump out and get more attention than others, or is it pretty good coverage, or are you getting questions about anything in particular, or what?
Well, I'm pointing at it in a podcast, but our hideaway table, which was patented over 20 years ago now, is still our most popular student
Is it
table.
really?
So even after 20 years, and we thought 8 years ago, you know, the death of the computer lab, and it's not going to happen. There's still those cases where you need some high-powered labs, and the hideaway table, making it multi-purpose, the classrooms or the lab, is still the number one.
You know, folks are saying, you know, BYOD, it's going to do away with, you know, desktops. It's never been the case. That's never been the case. We've always been able to maintain, you know, some steady business through the tables that take desktops.
And I find a lot of times that even when you bring your own device, it's, you know, like Chris has got his 13-inch laptop here, right? Well, that's great, but there's still a preference to have the larger screen or the second screen. And so putting a dock in here, and with a single USB cable, boom, you've got which now you've given them an elevated experience without the traditional, here's their tower, here's your, but it's simple, and you can still tuck it away.
It's a student equity thing too. Like, in order for the instructor to make sure all the students have the same experience and that every student have access to technology, computer labs are going to be an important aspect of that.
Right. We do a little bit less computer labs, but they're still around. And that's just mainly for, you know, budgeting resources when you're building a new building. Well, maybe you don't need 4 computer labs, you just need 1 or 2. It's like, no, we need 4.
Yeah, we've been going through
That's
a process
fight.
where we're dialing some of them back, but like Jamie said, the furniture is still there, the displays are still there, the keyboard's still there, but now it's bringing in a laptop, or it's connecting to a VM, so it's a more basic workstation, but there's still a table to sit at, still all the stuff there.
So we have done designs for universities with the hideaway table where we do make a laptop pocket. So it has all the connections. So there's not a CPU tower mounted under the table. There's now a laptop pocket. So the students bring their own device, plug into the keyboard and the monitor, because like you said, Chris's 13-inch display, now you could have a 27-inch when they go into class, and that laptop's off the table, and they're using the provided display and keyboard.
Convenience power outlets on the tabletop.
See, customization. There it is.
So has there been an example recently, maybe, I don't know, even yesterday, of discussions where somebody is deploying your furniture in that unique way that we all want to think, because we're all trying to steal ideas from each other.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
And
So what he's asking is, what ideas can you
what
provide
ideas
with
can we steal?
Yeah.
And, you know, because who's coming to you? Because you guys you work with us well in order to find the solution that we need as far as furniture is concerned. It's not just, well, you get A, B, C, and D. What has come up that's been kind of unique to me, like, hey, we never thought our table would be used this way, and it was awesome?
Whoa, that's a good question. It happens all the time. Well, I would say, University of Nevada, Las Vegas, UNLV, we designed a table for them.
Dang it, Frank.
Yeah.
Always
Frank
winning everything.
It was Frank, yes. He might have won an award for that room. But, you know, those were convenience displays. So we used the hideaway table essentially to replicate what the faculty were displaying on the screen. So, you know, if it was a deep classroom or the size of the classroom, It allowed all the students to have a display, mimicking what the instructor was doing.
A shared display.
Yeah, so that was unique. We have CAD drafting tables. Again, an old product. I say old. We've had it for 25 years. Is still huge, and we've seen it move to art labs or media labs or things like that, where they have huge displays and they're still doing artwork and just essentially artwork, by hand.
I might need one
at
of
the
those.
same time.
That sounds cool.
To replace your giant executive desk you have in your
No,
office?
just added it to it.
Oh, and even
Make it
bigger
like
desk.
a
Like
StarCraft
another
size.
desk.
Well, the unique feature is that it's a tilting table,
Yeah.
so the top is tilting. So it's a nice feature, and what was a pencil tray now becomes a paper tray, because it's holding, the documents, on
Does
the
it
table.
go up and down? Is it motorized? Go up and down?
It's not motorized vertically.
But we can make
it's
it happen?
mechanical.
Could you make that happen?
He just rolled his eyes.
Oh, you know what'd be cool? What if I had a stand-up desk that would go flat, or for CAD drafting work that goes up
And then
and
you
down?
also want it on caster so you can move it around your
No,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want it to move.
With a whiteboard top, so that way.
Right.
Now we're talking.
Okay. Well, we can do that. That's an easy one. We could add whiteboard tops, but
What
as
if,
far
you
as
just, if I stop trying to match laminates and just go whiteboard tops everywhere?
that would be excellent. I do have a university that. Illinois State University. Am I allowed to plug anybody?
They were in my class this year. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all of their lecterns are whiteboard laminate, and they use their document camera right on the top. And
We do the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have whiteboard lecterns?
Not on the table side, but my rack side, because I still have one of those.
And so you put the dock cam over
I
there.
put the doc cam there. That
All
way
right.
they can use
Yeah.
it to write on if
Fair
they want
enough.
to.
So the top of the rack cabinet is whiteboard. Okay. Excellent.
That's too clever, Larry.
I do like that.
I was actually thinking about
I'm
doing
taking
that
notes.
for the new English building. Because there was a big fight about whiteboards, Maybe do that instead.
And not give them whiteboards?
Yeah.
Be like, you don't get whiteboards, you get
You don't
these.
get whiteboards at all. Because you don't write big enough.
We,
It's a serious problem.
Well, I understand that.
Yeah.
That is a concern if you have a big room and a whiteboard down at the front.
It all goes back to image size.
Yep.
And we just solved it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Computer comforts.
It's either that or whiteboard cameras, which,
I like those. So.
I like
those
those
are okay
too, but
too. We give them both.
I have rooms where I have given them both.
Yeah.
They
no
use
los
neither.
dos. Yeah, why not? So,
That's right.
so tell me about the bespoke custom
What is
high-selling
this?
podcast table we're
What
at
is
here.
what is going on
Yeah,
here?
where are we sitting at here?
Is this new?
This is
okay.
a new design. We call it our Axis table, AXIS table. It's specific to exactly what we're doing here. We put on convenience outlets in the center of the table. We have a cord managing box below. That's
We obviously didn't use that.
We're not using because we have cables everywhere.
yeah, I think it's an adaptation. That's the purpose. You can adapt. But this, this ends up being a pretty good size. We did test with different shapes, different sizes, but this particular shape was able to.
it's essentially a 60-inch footprint, diameter, even though it has the little insets,
I could have used this about 2 years ago.
Yeah. What do you
Take this one home with you?
He's gnawing on it.
I didn't chew that. Did that happen in shipping?
It did.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's
Yeah.
gone from one show to the other show to the other show.
Oh, so this is yeah.
The joys of shipping furniture. You're gonna, there's things that are gonna happen, but it's also who stands behind it. I mean, when there is a problem, you get a table or lectern, anything in place. It's how you handle it, and fortunately, we are hands-on. Both Chris and I handle our deals from front to back. So it does make it simple as far as any problems
And
or
shipping
issues.
to a trade show is not indicative of how you guys ship to us.
No.
And that's very evident. Go back and watch the Evolve video on the Computer Comforts website.
Yes.
And they even show you how they're going to ship it to you. And it's well thought. I mean, so
It ships fully assembled and ready for action.
it's ready
Yes.
for action on a single pallet. Let's go.
Yes, no flat packing, no, let's unwrap it and start putting equipment in and get that thing in use.
Yeah, because I want to make sure, like, oh man, yeah. So trade show shipping sucks, but
Yeah.
no, when they ship it to you, it's
Yeah.
it's
The problem with trade show shipping is the return, because after a show, and we're breaking down a booth
And we're
all tired, we can never package it as good on the way out
Yeah.
as
You
it
just
is
throw
coming
it in the truck.
That's right.
Nor
That's right.
do we care.
So I can pretty much guarantee that was us at some point in the damage
Frank,
there.
that was Frank.
Right.
It was Frank.
Just lay it out there. That was Frank.
Where's Frank?
Yeah.
No.
but as you said, that the Evolve lectern shipping essentially 2 tables, the AV cabinet and the table on one pallet fully assembled is just crisp and clean. And then we have customers. Chris, your project would be 26 lecterns coming in. So we completely change. We get rid of all the packaging, and now it's blanket wrapped, and a Van Lines truck shows up, on the campus, and then they could easily distribute to each building right to the classroom. So,
60?
Right when the
26,
drywall's going up.
Right. Well, there's been
But it's the
Right
third,
when
the
the
third
drywall
order,
goes
so
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
probably.
He can move that order to 60 if he wants to.
How many
allow it.
total at this point, Chris? Maybe like 75 or so?
yeah,
all
this
told?
has got to be about 75 with these next 26.
Yeah.
So
Well, no wonder you got your name on it.
Yeah, that's-
that's right. See, exactly.
there are advantages.
I tried to
In fact, I think we're the prototype for that.
this. Yeah, that combination. There's a combination of all unique features in there.
Why don't you
And
explain for a visual, what it has?
So, this particular lectern is a height adjustable lectern, and it has what we call an electronics bay on the back, and the customization for the University of Wyoming is an extended bay for rack mount cubes. Is that what you're calling them? Or-
Yeah, small racks. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can get 3 RU of equipment on both sides. So 6 RU just in the equipment bay. So it's in there. It's wired up. It's secure. It's attached, but it's also hidden away. So that people either don't know about it or they can't physically access it
Because it's locked.
because it's
Yeah.
locked and it's out of the way. They don't even see it. It's kind of in the front of the lectern. So it almost looks like a modesty panel, I guess. But it's 7 inches deep. But
And you explain to me, Chris, to make that fit. What do y'all do? Do y'all do any modification on site to the lectern itself to make those two?
I take the 3/4 inch ply off the back, and then the racks will kind of slot in and stand upright. So,
There you go.
Yeah.
And perfect fit right in
They
there.
fit like they were meant to.
And lock down.
Well, you also, which is unique, I think, to Chris, is that there's mounting holes for monitor arms, and you do them on both sides, so it's essentially universal.
Yes, so that's a good point. So I think we probably did 3 revisions of different hole layouts but I wanted them mirrored on both sides because I didn't want to deal with a left lectern or right lectern. It's a universal lectern that can go on a left or right side. So the monitor arm can go left or right. We also drilled additional holes for document camera bolts and things.
Right.
I put those on both sides. So there's probably like 6 holes across the top of my lecterns for various things, but it just means it's the same layout for
Simplicity.
every room. Yeah.
For
Simplicity.
left-
You don't
for
have
left
to
or
think
right.
left, right. You
Exactly
can
right.
put. That's a great idea.
Though there's been times I have to explain to people, it's like, well, yeah, I'm glad you guys have this all wired up and ready to go, but you put the monitor on the wrong side.
The monitor needs to be up against the wall so the teacher can see the students. And then if it's on, I have the same thing. And sometimes you have to order 2 different part numbers for what you're
Well,
ordering.
and sometimes I have to get the person who did that to stand behind there and explain why, and they're like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah. So now you get to spend the next half an hour undoing and moving stuff back over here. So
That's one of our standard operating procedures
that's what mounting.
in design,
Yeah.
making sure the monitor is up against the wall.
No, it is from the design, but imagine
yeah.
the tech who's wiring it up. It didn't think about that. They just went room to room to room and didn't
Exactly.
think fit left or right. So
Right.
it happens, but we're getting better.
Which
at it.
reminds me, I can get you some plugs for those extra holes.
Hey, look at that.
There you go.
See?
When you start
you
talking,
had it.
ideas,
More notes.
and
More notes.
Adaptation.
Can you get little University of Wyoming logos on those?
We'll get some,
Wow.
Maybe a little horse on it.
He's
with a
very-
cowboy.
It's called Bucking Horse and Rider, or Steamboat, as we call it.
There you go.
So, yeah.
okay.
There you go. There
Well,
you go.
we did do a lab at the University of Wyoming of classroom tables that are gold tops with brown paint
Really? On purpose?
Yeah.
on purpose.
No, on accident.
We talked early on about
pure
deliberately
accidental.
doing all the lecterns like in a really dark, because our school colors are brown and gold, so we talked about doing them in school colors so that all the lectern tops would be like a really dark brown and then a gold trim ring around it, sort of thing, so it would be school branded all the way through. But
Which would have been nice.
in retrospect, yes. So I've been working with Chris and I keep joking about the laminates. I've been working with him for the last couple of years to try to match the laminates in the rooms, which in some cases is easy and some not so much.
That's hard.
I gave that up. I don't do that.
But at least it looks, the lecterns look intentional at that point. So
Right.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, we're crawling under a lot of tables to find
Yes.
old tags of products to see if there's a laminate code on there.
And
Black top with a white
we
with a
always-
whiteboard like
we
rack.
always have an interior
bring up a-
designer that has to have that third party's custom laminate something.
and that's
or
what
other,
we're
you're like,
finding.
What
a lot
are
of the
you doing?
a lot of the tables in the rooms were like, it looks like it's a cherry table, but no, it's some sort of crazy custom laminate that Chris is able to reach
Proprietary.
out to like contacts he has at these other companies, and they find out, oh, that was long since discontinued, and what it's like, oh, geez. Here, I thought it'd be a standard. Oh, it's that Wilson code. Nope, that one was proprietary and canceled years ago. So.
Yeah.
That's what we're finding. Frank, our owner, had a job recently where he did, I think it was close to 20 lecterns, and each room they did a separate laminate.
They're
Oh
doing
my
it wrong.
gosh.
And it's just, I mean, he was, just to write up the order, he was pulling his hair out. And what I found is, and what I try to talk my customers into, is saying, you know what, these lecterns, if you end up doing this, campus-wide, why don't we think about something universal, like all black, or something that is not, it won't make it stand out. At the same time, it's going to look good at the front of the classroom, and not have to worry about what the student tables are in. Because these designers and architects can go in different directions.
I got a question about that. So have you ever seen the new way people paint their cars with the vinyl wrap?
Wrap.
Have you thought about that? Have you looked into vinyl
Well,
wraps?
somebody,
It's
and
interesting-
I don't know if it was
interesting
one of
question.
you, said yesterday about having a generic lectern with different panels to put on. So they could have them in stock, like maybe in their shop, and then they get a new room and they just pull out, they just order a colored panel to
Yeah.
put on the front.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I was thinking if somebody did want a custom colored lectern per room, order all black and then have
Just all you
different
gotta-
custom vinyls.
You wrap it. You
And just put it on top or the
Mhm.
side and just be done.
I think the
two-tone
durability,
shifting one, the
durability
purple
could be an issue.
Yeah, with the scratching and-
longevity.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
that's
because
something to
I mean,
think
these
about.
lecterns.
But you'll solve that problem, right?
Yeah, we can make it look diamond plate or
hey, now we're
carbon fiber. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, these lecterns are going to be out there for 10 or 15 years. So
Yeah.
they'll get pretty well beat up. So.
Well, I was thinking the vinyl wrap on cars get hit with rocks and bugs. I'm wondering how they do that. Is it special vinyl wrap that's more because they have the same problem?
Our showroom trailers are wrapped.
See?
Yeah.
Our showroom trailers, we have 20-foot showroom trailers, both Chris and I, and we bring them to campus. So if there's ever a project that calls for, hey, instead of us going inside with a bunch of brochures, hey, bring out the crew, bring out the techs, bring out facilities, and let's look at the furniture outside. But those are actually wrapped in that, and mine looks like new. So
I'm
it's
just
a
curious to see how
it's a good
longevity
point. Good
testing
point. Good point.
for what those
Chris, can you get on that?
It'll
cars.
be,
Yeah.
I actually, my head's
you-
spinning. Yeah,
it'll be on the order list.
Just
for
call
the
Ferrari.
Rexing option.
Yeah, call Ferrari and see what they're doing.
the company that makes our university logos does wrapping, so
Really?
I could look into that.
There you go. Now
Just
you
get
have
your
an answer.
sandblaster out to test it.
Right. Exactly. Get a bunch of kids to kick it,
Yeah.
and we'll test
I was
it
going
out.
to say, yeah, you put some professors in there, they'll beat it up. pretty
keys
quick.
and nickels on there and seeing what
Spilling their
scratches.
coffee. Yeah. Well, a lot of it, I don't know.
Like
about
hot
you guys,
coffee
but
makes it bubble.
we have those
right?
stickers on the lecterns that are like, hey, for help, call this number or whatever. And people just sit there nervously picking at
Yeah,
them and
yeah.
stuff. So that vinyl, they'll get a
It would
little
have
tear
to
and
be
they'll
like
start-
smooth and like this. It
Like they
have-
wouldn't even know that.
Exactly, kind of like what the cars look. It looks like paint on the car. That oh, it's just a challenging thought for you all to go back and do some
but
engineering.
the tops can still be like a black laminate, and you can still wrap.
you can wrap
the
other
sheet
things.
metal.
Yeah.
The louvers, we have the vented louvers
That would be rough.
on many of the modesty panels, so that could be an issue.
That
Well,
would be rough.
see, they're open to listening to all kinds of
Well,
ideas.
Even if they aren't very good ideas.
Yes. They're terrible ideas,
Yeah.
but they didn't say
Yeah.
no.
We always
they
listen.
bantered it around a little bit, but that's the
You
that's
didn't
the
say you
benefits,
needed
right?
good ideas. You just said you wanted ideas.
We
That's
never
the
said no.
Yeah.
It's the benefits of working with computer.
They'll distill all those terrible ideas. There might be one good one in there. They'll extract.
That's exactly exactly right.
Use that one.
It starts
The rest
with a
we'll just
small
ignore.
idea.
Yeah,
Watch
ignore
this
that
4
one.
years from now. We got the new vinyl.
Did you see what we did?
Yeah.
Did you see what we thought of?
This was our idea.
Well, usually, we're sitting with a customer and they say, "Can you?" And usually before they ask the question, we go, "Sure."
You're like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Get back to the office and go,
How are we going to do that?
And then if Frank is listening right now, he's going, "Oh,
Oh, my
no,
God.
what are they doing?"
Is this
Don't-
like the last time that Chris asked if he could mount like a 46-inch monitor on the back of one of them?
Right. Right.
I think it's legit. It's going to happen. Someone wants one of those, not a 46, but maybe a 40 or
40.
on the front modesty panel. But
We just did a fire department training center, and they said, hey, we want a logo on the front of the lecterns that changes. It's like, I can do that shit.
it's got to be like a digital
So what we
presentation.
did is we bought a picture frame that was 22 inches that it's basically a TV, stick a USB drive in, and it'll cycle through, or you can set it to just show. So that's a custom thing that I did.
It's a good
that
idea. It's a good
you guys
idea.
could add as
Absolutely.
an option.
And it'll
like
be in the
digital
catalog
logos.
tomorrow.
Right.
Digital logos. It's getting popular in Kentucky.
Well, you know what? Whenever we do
Kentucky
something
thing.
like that, or we do something custom, or Chris comes up with one of his great but crazy ideas, Frank will say, "Don't put that on the website."
Yeah.
Do it. Yeah, bring it on the show instead.
That's an off-menu thing.
wait for someone to ask about it.
But the digital logo thing was super popular. Everybody was like, "Oh my God, how'd you do that?" It's something like that,
They can't
pointing
see that.
at
They
something
can't see
nobody can
that.
see, but not as elaborate.
Right. Just simple, but got the
Simple.
job
Have you guys
done.
considered
what they
walking
wanted.
across the aisleway here and wrapping your
lectern
panel
like
in
that?
LEDs?
Direct view LED panels.
So for the listeners, there's a direct view LED wrapped around a small lectern.
it looks like a lectern, but it's not. It's like a little
Yeah.
stand for a booth, but it looks like a
It's just
lectern.
literally
It does.
called a lectern. So
I don't know.
it's what it is. But
It might be. It might have been
be.
provided by Freeman.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just,
As
you guys
direct view LED gets cheaper, that's an option too. About 10
yeah,
years
you
from
guys
now,
LEDs everywhere.
LED panels.
Then I could change my laminates between classes.
And don't say, well, what if somebody hits it and it breaks, because they put those things on basketball courts.
That's true.
Right. Well, and
That's
you know
true.
what? We've had the request for our esports. So we have a couple. We have a couple esports
Put the displays
designs
right on the front.
You're right. So the viewers watching the students play
Yeah.
their games or their competitions can see, what they're doing
That's
with
a popular
the display on the
design.
mod panel.
So if you came up with something like that, it could be used in classrooms,
Especially
it could be
in
used
Kentucky.
in big auditoriums in
they're
Kentucky.
big on that.
It's big in Kentucky.
Big in Kentucky.
Big in Kentucky.
We're really advanced in some areas
Well,
and
it-
not so much in others.
Well, it would be a simple wall mount. So
Yeah,
I don't think it would be awkward. And some of our design, our steel modesty panels are definitely sturdy enough just to pre-drill and put a mount on there.
He just said it. We
There
can
you
do
go.
it.
Do it. Do it.
What's also interesting
We'll be
is
doing
that
it in about 25 minutes. Right here.
something to think about when you're putting the mount on the front of that. We actually put the mount on the inside and use bolts, long bolts all the way through, because when you add the mount, even though it's a small VESA mount, it sticks out further. So
Right.
now it looks like the display is almost sucked in and part of.
flush with the panel.
And then we put the mount on a metal bracket on the inside and just use, like I said, long screws.
Well, the modesty panel is the support
And then,
of the table.
once the whole thing.
So we don't want to omit the rigidity.
So when you take it off,
You don't. We will.
the whole
Yeah.
thing comes with it on this particular lectern, but you have to like unplug it as you're taking it off.
Yeah. Yeah, makes sense. Love to see some pictures.
Yeah,
Love
I
to
could
see-
do. I could do some pictures.
Yeah, just again, ideas,
Yeah,
something that makes you unique,
Yeah.
and separates you from the crowd, and that's what we're after always.
It was super custom. It took a while, but we got it. It took a little bit of trial and error to get it figured out how we want to deal with support side of it, making sure everything was still accessible to work on.
Most importantly, end user was elated.
Oh, they were like, "How'd you do that?" I was like,
Magic.
"Amazon, bro." It was
That's right.
really easy.
Well, where can folks find you? If you're here at InfoComm and you're listening to this, where can folks find you? Do you remember?
We are in booth 5087.
5087. Don't give it away.
Okay.
Make it a mystery. No.
Mystery, 5 So come over and visit them, and then if they're not here, where can they find you?
Computercomforts.com is as simple as that, and we have direct reps all over the country to work with you directly. We do space planning. We help you with classroom design, and specifically lectern design. For this audience here.
For wild, stupid ideas.
And also,
Many
speaking of
wild
ideas, if you do want some ideas, we have an installation gallery on the website. Really helpful. People get great ideas from it, from folks sitting at this table, what you guys do with your furniture, others like. And obviously, that's why we bring them to a show like this.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
All right, thanks guys for joining us and letting us. Hey, you've let us hang out at your booth. You're gonna let us do it all week, so thanks for that too.
Yeah,
No
you're
doubt,
welcome.
no doubt.
Glad
Hey,
to have you.
again, partners like AB SuperFriends, HETMA, we like to maintain. You're a good group of people, and we invite you every time.
All right, thanks guys.
Thank you.
Sure, appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. All right. Well, I guess as we wrap here, what are the last things or not last things? What are the things we're looking for today? I know yesterday was kind of an exploratory day. Lots of interesting odds and ends out there. No spoilers as far as what we're going to put on the tour, but any trends, any things you guys are looking for, any things you got your eyes open for?
I'm still looking for that wow thing. I've seen a lot of incremental updates, things that we've been asking for. So they're not nothing, but they're not. I am excited about everybody has an all-in-one DV LED now, and on a cart or something. And what I'm excited about with that is that we're gonna, now that everybody has them, we're gonna start seeing. Hopefully see prices continue to fall into more affordable.
That's a good point.
But I am still looking for that wow thing, that thing that just knocks me off my feet and just like this is the thing. And I'm still on the hunt. I only got about 40% through the floor yesterday, so I got a lot of work to do today. But nothing exciting. But there are little things that I think people will be happy about as they go through this year.
And we were talking about at dinner a little bit last night. I think some of the most interesting things we've seen aren't products, they're software.
Software-based stuff.
Yeah, like the Empirical booth across the way, the NetSpeak that she was talking about, Rachel was talking about yesterday. There are some interesting software pieces
Is
out
software
there.
not a product?
Well, it is, but it's not traditionally what you would come here for.
True.
And I think that's like...
Changing your thought on how you approach the show.
Mark was asking us yesterday, like, what's the wow thing here, or what's the hot topic? And it's not a hardware piece, I feel like. I feel like this is the software show as far as...
That's a good point. We're seeing a lot of software-driven utilities, a lot of monitoring systems, a lot of things that are AV hardware adjacent.
Yeah.
But and would be used in conjunction with your AV systems. So they would be part of it, but it's a lot of smaller booths just showing off software because that's what they do. So
even asset management stuff, there's people here with that, and
everyone loves asset management.
It's a necessary evil, and so if it makes it
not.
easy,
just don't do it. It's great.
Just roll it out.
We don't have assets, so we don't inventory those.
Yeah, when they're like, "Hey, do inventory," I'm like, "I'm done." We're like, "What'd you do with it?" I'm like, "I didn't do it."
they're out.
No, I ran into that years ago where there was a system at UW that was well maintained. And then the person who maintained that left, and then it wasn't maintained for about 8 years. And as I'm rolling it into a new asset management system, I have 8 years of mystery of a gap there that I can't quite trust. So that's awesome. So yeah, looking for that. I've seen a lot of kind of those, I would say, middleware like widgetry. There's a lot of that going on. Those prices are coming down on little boxes that do converts from this to that, or moves this to there, or has three different inputs and a USB out sort of thing.
Yeah,
So I've seen some of the widgets become more handy. So instead of needing 7, you need 1.
Or finally coming out with the widget we've been asking for, like the AV over IP to USB UCC. There are a couple of those out there now,
and vice versa. USB-C has been more prominent.
A lot of USB-C as I would say as the default.
Yes.
It's like the output for any of this is going to be USB-C. It's still questionable as to how much of the USB-C they're doing.
And several I've been surprised where they're saying that it's most like 4 out of the 5 features,
Yeah.
right? Power is usually the one that gets nixed because
they want it remote or something like
Well,
that.
and even the ones I've seen had 60 watts power. Like, that's not great, but it's good enough.
So a lot of them do 60 watts because that fits well within the existing power supplies.
Yep.
But I've also noticed some that, to Jamie's point, that don't have power native, but they have like a power delivery injector. So if you want to plug in a little power supply and inject power onto that, they're not going to have that built in. But if the system where you're putting that will support adding another little power brick, then you can do it. So
I'm okay with that.
Lots of little things. Again, incremental updates, but they're updates that we've all been kind of asking for and wanting and looking for. And so we're going to be pleased. It's not, but there's not. Oh shoot! This isn't the year of 3D or the year of laser projectors or the year of 21.9, which is nowhere. By the way,
we should go find a
where'd that
lamp.
go?
We should go find a lamp-based projector on the floor.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm sure there are some.
Yes, have there been? I've not seen any 21:9 displays.
I haven't seen anything.
I've seen like 2 places. One of them showing off
probably
all
Jupiter.
teams' rooms and Jupiter.
Yeah.
I think I saw one in the InfoComm magazine we get every morning. There was one
Probably from Jupiter.
Yeah, it might have been that one.
That's their
So-
bread and butter.
But there's not that trend that every 2 or 3 or 4 years that we just get and you're so exhausted with it by the end of the week.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing it
Well-
so far.
Of all those trends you just mentioned, most of them were crap after the year. I mean, 3D.
Lasers.
Well, lasers were good. I liked lasers. But 2 out of 3,
Okay, you're right. All right,
Alrighty,
man.
well, we're gonna roll out of here. We've got to do some editing and publishing to do. We'll get more episodes out later today, as well as tomorrow, and then all next week. So look for all that stuff. More from InfoComm.
Yeah. Got to go find some AI.
You have
Go
AI?
AI yourself.
I got an AI at 9:30.
Yeah, go get it.
10 minutes.
You're gonna go get all the AI. All right.
Well, we've managed to ruin yet another episode of AV Super Friends Off the Rails. You can contact us with questions, topic ideas, or general complaints at mailbag@avsuperfriends.com. If you complain loud enough, we might just invite you on the show.
Nice work, everyone. Sharp broadcast. Really good. Everyone on the floor as well. Really a lot of hustle. I liked it.
The opinions expressed by the AV Super Friends are solely those of the individuals and do not represent their respective institutions, organizations, companies, or clients.